Former President Trump increased his attacks on former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley at an Iowa rally on Friday, going after the candidate as she rises in polls. Nikki Haley's campaign is being funded by Biden donors, Trump said, later dubbing her a globalist. She likes the globe. I like America first, he added. The establishment losers and sellouts lagging far behind us in the Republican primary can't be trusted on taxes or trade or anything else. They're globalists and they always will be. The attacks come as Haley closes in on Trump's lead in New Hampshire. She trails the former president by nearly 12 points in the Hill/Decision Desk HQ average of polls. While it is still a large margin, the gap is closer than any candidate in any other early primary state. Trump also criticized Haley for her comments last week failing to mention slavery as a cause of civil war. She instead discussed freedom and states' rights issues as cause of the conflict when asked by a New Hampshire voter, which brought waves of criticism from both sides of the aisle, including from fellow GOP primary candidates. She then blamed the question on a plant and dismissed concerns of racism because she had black friends growing up. Oh my God. Responses that only increased the criticism. She does not have what it takes, Trump said at the rally. Haley spokesperson Nakama Sovchik defended the campaign in a statement to the New York Times. If Trump feels so strongly about his false attacks, he should stop hiding and defend them on the debate stage in Des Moines, she said. Trump probably doesn't remember that Nikki Haley passed one of the toughest anti-illegal immigration laws in the country in 2011 because he was still a New York City liberal. That's actually not a bad response. Although I will have to look into whether it's true that she passed one of the supposed toughest anti-illegal immigration law. Because you gotta remember, when people talk about the border, they're talking about Arizona, they're talking about, Texas. Like, South Carolina is not really known for having any real population of illegal immigrants. So I think if she did pass something, it was more just like a grandstanding act versus like there's this big crisis at the border in 2000 at the Charleston border in 2011. So I'll look into that. I'll investigate. But I do like that they bring up that he was a Democrat as recently as 2011, which, it sounds like it was a long time ago, but it was only 10 years ago, which is not, I mean, that's not even, 10% of, excuse me, that's, it's not that far away. But to go into Trump's comments, Haley's campaign is being funded by Biden donors. Now, it's true that sometimes donors do give money to people from both sides. I've donated to both Democrats and Republicans in the past. But we don't control who donates to us. So to try and get her campaign on the fact that people who've donated to her have also donated to Biden is kind of, goofy. She likes the globe. I like America first. Okay, these are more nebulous terms. Hey, let's just agree with his sentiment that Haley is a globalist. What does that mean? I'd love to know. He says they can't be trusted on taxes or trade or anything else. Well, taxes have nothing to do with being a supposed globalist. As far as I can tell, globalists are these politicians who have foreign policy views which are antithetical to the people who call them this. And I have seen some individuals called globalists in relation to trade, like supporting NAFTA. But taxes that's a domestic issue. What does that have to do with the globe? Where's something else in here we can go over? She does not have what it takes. Well, he might be right about that because, as I've said before, it's not unrealistic that Trump might win every single state in this primary. The only one where Haley's doing good in is New Hampshire. I mean, even they had a poll that came out as recently as today or last few days where that showed Haley is down by over 20 points in her home state of South Carolina, which is an embarrassment for any candidate to lose their home state. So whatever momentum she gets from New Hampshire, if she wins or comes in second place, she's going to have to find some way to turn that into making up for very low poll numbers this late in the race. But he might be right. She doesn't have what it takes. Although I guess you could say that about the rest of the field too. They're all lagging behind him. I just think it's funny that she went from polling at 2, 3, 4% to now being the person that he's going after the most. He won't touch Ramaswamy. He swats Christie away. He makes a little comment here and there about DeSantis, but he's turned up the heat on her because he knows all the ducking of debates and whatnot. Yeah, the voters still remember him. They still know he's in the race, but I do think the more he does, and if Haley is able to come in second place in Iowa and win New Hampshire, there's going to be an argument to be made that maybe he should have taken this more seriously. And like, even as someone who's not some big fan of hers at all, I just love the idea of he thought he had this lockdown, and then someone who was actually at the debates is able to beat him in some states, or give him a run for his money. I know that probably won't happen, but it would feel kind of cathartic because I think there is something wrong with the Republican primary voter base where they're completely fine with their front runner not participating in the process. Oh, I held one rally in Iowa last month. Oh, I put out a statement on my crappy social media site. Like, he should be active. He should go to these different states, go to these different forums and debates like everybody else to show that he wants the job. But whatever, we've been making that point for months now, and they don't really seem to care all that much. Um, I don't know. It just seems as if everything is kind of in this stalemate where it's like Trump's up here, Haley's down here, DeSantis is down here. They kind of compete for second place, and then way further down is like Christie and Ramaswamy. And I'm still marveling at the fact that there's this many people in the race this late on. I mean, they really are gluttons for punishment. And it seems like the only people that are actually hurt by there being multiple candidates is everyone but Trump. Trump has this big support group, and the rest of the candidates all are just hoping they can siphon off some supporters from this person and that person. We'll see if it works. But Trump might be right. She doesn't have what it takes. But then again, none of the rest of them do either.